Hey YouTube, it's Petey, and this is something I've never done. I'm going to do a before and after video. Today I'm going to be setting up my TV tray and putting together a headphone amp. So I thought I would go through the components before, and then maybe when I'm done I can show you what I put together. So this is a battery sled. It holds 2 batteries. I will come in with some green and then red colored nail varnish or nail polish, and just these little circles in here I will denote the polarity markings. There's this wire is here. This is used. I will hot glue a piece of cardboard, and that enables me to use double-sided tape. Will stick to this really well. To just cover the back with a roll of double-sided tape and stick it down. Now there's a connector back here because you have to wire these yourself. They come just not connected to anything, so you have to wire them up how you want to wire them. And this, I will probably cut this, go through and cut this here in the middle, and then I have these little fuse holders. I'll probably cut a fuse holder in here and put like a 750 milliamp fuse in, just because I have a tendency to put batteries in backwards. And that way, if I do turn it on, it will blow the fuse. It will not blow the circuit board. So this is the battery tray. This is the chassis. I went ahead and drilled this out last night. This is really thin metal, so you have to kind of take a little bit of care when you're drilling it. What happens is when you drill, or depending on what you use, I use these weird bits that I ordered on eBay that kind of come up and then they taper around, and they have little wings, sharpened blade wings. So that worked pretty good, but it pushed a lot of what I call flash. Flash is when the injection mold plastic is what's left over, is this unnecessary plastic that we snip off. With this method, on the inside, what you'll see is a bunch of metal that's blown back, that's really sharp. It's not going to let you properly mount. Whatever you're going to mount through the hole is going to run into that. So you can nip away at it or come in the other angle with a larger bit, or they have these grinding wheel bits, or you can use a stepped drill bit. Whatever you use, you're going to want to get rid of that flash and try not to blow this thing in too much. I had a piece of scrap plywood that I put in here to support it, but it still malformed it. As you can see here, this is a little wonky in there. But the main hole will be for the volume potentiometer, and it has a click on switch, I believe. I hope. I have to test that. And then there's going to be a headphone style 3.5 millimeter, like a Walkman jack, an in and an output. And that's it. There's going to be no power LED. If I forget to shut it off, I'll have to grab another set of batteries. So the chassis is going to be go in here. It's going to be epoxy, not epoxy. That's not a bad idea, but it will be double-sided tape in place. And then here is our main board. This is going to going to go like that. It's going to be bolted on there, so it will live inside like this, and it should be just enough room for everything to fit inside of here. So we have these jacks, which are input and output jacks. These are 3.5 millimeter, and this will represent the input and the output jack. Now these have 4 connectors on them. A lot of the new connectors, 3.5 millimeter, they're 4-pole connectors, which you can see here. It says 4-pole socket So what that means is your typical headphone jack, like when I was a kid, they looked like this, but they're quite a bit smaller, but it looked like this. And then more recently, everything went stereo, so you would have a line here, so you'd have tip ring sleeve. And then they added another one, so that this is broken up into four connectors, four terminals, four wires inside. And that fourth wire, because you in a typical situation, the ones that I really use the most are stereo. So you'll have ground, right channel, left channel. And they added the fourth one for the microphone because a lot of these new headphone devices plug into your phone, and your phone, you could be listening to music and take a call, where it just knows to mute the music. And the fourth wire is for a microphone that would be built into your jawbone piece here, or whatever it may be. And maybe for larger headphones, it'll have an arm come out, but that's what that fourth connector is for. And I find that if you plug in a 3-terminal, like one of the connectors, so what I'll do is grab a 3-terminal connector and use the beep beep cont setting on my. And forgive me, usually I have a 3.5 millimeter cable here. Don't seem to have one at the moment. I have to dig for it. But by using this, so you would plug the 3-terminal connector cable into this, take the other end, put it on the ground side, and then come in here and touch these. And what you'll find is the ground pin will be singing on 2 of these connectors, because on the 4-terminal unit, that ground side on the 3-terminal unit is the same size. It's the same physical location. So when you when you run into one of these jacks, you just have to pin it out. And then you can either just hook it up to one of the other pins or to both. You get what I'm saying? Because the bottom section is here, and they divided that into 2. It's the same physical section, the same length. It doesn't go up any higher. So you can just take those bottom 2 where it's going to be solid and hook up to both connectors that would lead to it, and it's the same thing. So apart from that confusion, this board, it does have a 3.5 millimeter connector on it, so you could do this a little smaller. Hear that switch going off. I have what's going to make this project fun is this connector here. I have the connectors. So this is for power. I don't know if you can see that. It's labeled plus and minus. And then we have our in and out, our in and out connectors. And I have those too. I purchased these set of 10 connectors for $1.09 on eBay, and having these connectors mean it's going to make my job a lot easier. I'll have to do soldering on one end of the connector. I'll end up cutting these to length, trimming them, and then they will solder onto these jacks here. So it's literally, I hook up the fuse, I hook up the power, I hook up the input and the output, and that's it. So this is going to take me probably about an hour or 2 to completely put this headphone amp together, and then I will have a small battery powered headphone amp. It's not as small as it could be, but I don't like working where the stuff is jammed together to that point where the job of creating it becomes a hassle or a pain in the neck. So it's going to be this big. The accessories that I would add to this to improve it would be maybe a power LED, but it's not going to happen. I'm not going to put a power LED in it. I've got a huge trough full of those batteries, so if I do leave it on, which chances are probably really slim, I'm probably going to be like every time if I do use that thing, I'm going to double check, because that's the way I am, that I shut it off or pull the batteries out of it. So that's the mini headphone amp. I'm going to come back and show you guys when it's done what it looks like, and I hope you enjoyed this. Leave a comment below and let me know what you think. What I'm doing wrong, how my bad ideas are designed to F people over. That's what a troll said in a comment. Here I go again with my bad ideas effing people over. I'm sorry if I effed you over. If I gave you an idea and you went and spent a bunch of money and then blew something up, it's my fault. Anyway, take care of yourselves. Don't blow anything up, and peace.